I think that there's just one request for the next possibly 45 minutes. That number one, this is since it's being recording and we are now believing in the fact that we are a content-based company. So every chance that we get, we're going to create some kind of content or the other. So technically, everybody keeps a little low key because I'm supposed to scream because he has to pick it up on the thing here. So it'll help me a lot if there's a little bit of silence while we talk.
And I don't see Abbas and Albert Vishwajit.
Yeah, Abbas and Vishwajit. So alright, so it doesn't matter. I think that this is more of an understanding. The reason that I'm doing this is number one, I don't think we've really met. And when I say really met, I have been here in the office for the last month and a half. And I've met people that are kind of consistent or semi-consistent really, because I think everybody's got a different way of going about and handling business, which I think is completely fine. It's completely okay with me because the world has changed and so should we. So technically I've met some of you would know me. People that are slightly older would 100% know me. But I think that the majority of the people here don't really know me and don't understand what I'm about. I'm some kind of entity that stays in oblivion somewhere. So I think it's just time that I actually address everybody and you get to know a little bit about the way I think, because that's extremely important, I'm guessing, because once you understand the way that I think, you'll figure out whether this is complete crap and you need to find the door, or you say, hey, 1 minute, this seems interesting and maybe it's a good place to hang around because we can actually do stuff together. I'm hoping it's the latter actually. So technically I'm going to talk a little bit more. But I'll start off firstly with a little bit of history, because I don't think many of you know what Mio is, where it started, how it started, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into too much of detail, primarily because there are some people here who have been here they've been here 6-7 years now. So it'll be a repetition and a kind of bore, I guess. So I'm saying, all right, I'm not going to bore them. So in their honor, I'm going to skip what we really started off and being an XYZ, and I think we'll cover that a little later. But the fact being, I'll start from the year 2020, right? Now I am in England. I've gone there to meet my family. 90% I'm working here. 10% I would go to England and just meet my family, say hi, how are you? Are you growing up, my child? Are you okay? Everything all right? Blah, blah, blah. And not ideal, I guess, as a parent, not ideal at all. Because you really want to be there when your children are growing up and input into their growth. Because it's great to input into a lot of people here and a lot of people that I was working with. It was dedicated input into multiple people. And most of those people are not here today. Anyway, so there is a transient thing. I don't think it's their fault. I don't think it's my fault. I want to input to everybody that I'm dealing with, and y'all guys are not any different. I am going to eventually have a one-on-one session with everybody that wants to. The people that work with me directly don't have an option. They're going to sit and they're going to have that discussion. The guys that don't work with me directly, it's optional. If you want to talk, you want to understand, you want to figure out what you can do, happy to talk. And I'm here for the next month and a half, maybe even 2. So technically that's something I will do. So now cutting back to where I started, 2020, I was in the UK visiting my family. Suddenly, I was supposed to travel back on the 15th of March, lockdown. I can't move. I can't get back into India, right? I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? I have to stay there. And suddenly everybody in the office, it goes remote in a flash. In a flash means I'm talking about 2 days. Everybody's working from home. Nobody's seeing each other. People are now being recruited, never having met anybody for about 6-8 months. And I'm still in the UK. I'm still dealing with multiple things and people in the teams, and 2 of them are standing there, and those are kind of the older guys here. I can't call them the old guys because they're too young to be called old. But both Ranjit and Uday have been there in the 2020 kind of downturn. What happened in 2020 downturn is that one of my decently large, I don't call it large, it was one of my fun clients that was passionate. I was passionate about, the client was not passionate about me. This is Jalesh, and my good friend here has suffered at their hands, and so did I. We both did. But I think I learned a lot, and I also had, because of the pressures, I learned a category that was on the ball, We needed to be on the ball, and we were churning content by the thousand over a small period of time. High pressure, no reward, and eventually we didn't get paid, which is the sad shit about that damn client. So they went broke, they shut down and went away. Anyway, having said that, they left. Another one of our clients, which is our flagship client, cut the budget. So suddenly our retainerships were cut. It was cut across my sets of businesses big time, right? So let's take it by default, say we're 100, Mio's 100 at 100. In 2020, we went down to probably about 55. Now 55 is a serious cut. So really we cannot survive if you're going on at that rate. So really what it was a conversation again with the employees and all of you. You know, y'all are lucky that y'all were not there at that phase. But there was a slight cut and we said, man, there's no alternative. We have no alternative. We can all survive, or, you know, we can all die. And everybody said, okay, we'll survive. Good for everybody. Some of them took the opportunity to leave, which again, no, what do you call it? Yeah, no bones picked on those people. Man, dude, your salary is being cut. You're getting a job, and I think these are the intelligent people. People that could get a job immediately, wanted to get a job, you know, they all jumped. You know, which is great for them. Not so great for me, because there was a lot of inputs that happened from my end. So therefore, you know, we went through that entire motion, and I remember there was a con call, and now everything is remote, right? And so I'm in England, and I'm on this, what do you call it? A town hall, which is a virtual town hall. And I remember my saying, and I do remember this very, very clearly, because I know how badly I was affected in terms of the fact that I had to cut people's salary, and everybody in my team was leaving or going to leave, I knew. I did say one thing. I said, number one, the first thing is to get everybody's salary back by the end of this year. And now we are talking, we are in somewhere in October. Now technically there was a passion to be able to get the salaries back. While that passion hit me specifically, we turned it around, we came back, and eventually what we did have was everybody's salary was back for those 6 months. It's unfortunate that about 5 or 6 people left. Too bad for their salaries and everything. They didn't really get their salary back for those 2-3 months that they stayed. The ones that stayed the 6 months got their salary back by the end of the year. That's not all. The other thing that was stated on that call is, if we survive this downturn, we will get stronger than most other firms, because we will have been doing the right things. And when I say the right things, I'm saying I lived in a world, and I come from a world which is basically mainline advertising. Mainline advertising, I'm the king. I've done my MBA, I understand how it plays, I've gone to the Ogilvies of the world, I did it in China, I did it in India. I mean, you know, I know my shit when it comes down to mainline communications. You don't screw with me. You don't get into a mainline discussion, right? So I know my shit, but I moved to digital primarily because I understood that that is the future. That is going to be a medium that is going to subsume all other mediums. Everything else is going to digitize and get sucked into the digital medium, and digital medium is a one-on-one conversation. If I say something as a brand, somebody's going to say something back, and I need to respond back. I need to prepare for that. And Evelyn and me had a huge conversation yesterday on it, how to prepare for the shit that you put out. I mean, I'm sorry for calling it shit, but eventually you got to prepare for the creativity that you have presented to that audience, because there can be a backlash. And I'm not calling anything that we discussed about you shit. What I mean is, shit is very colloquial way of saying that, man, dude, we put out anything, we have to be prepared for a conversation that goes back and forth. Any agency that can do that is a real, true and thinking digital agency. Everybody else is a fraud. And I would say 99.9% are fraud. We are in a fraud space with fraud people who don't know their ass from their fucking elbow. Nothing. Right now, technically we are in a great space because we have the orientation for it. I'm not saying that we are great, because we don't know anything that hasn't been done yet, so therefore we are learning. But we are learning with the right direction, because we are open to the eventuality. I think that hasn't changed. So technically, coming back to the story, 2020 revised, everybody's salary back. People that were there, and you know, the people that I just pointed out to, went through the ups and that time the downs, and now it started to turn, and it became supremely up in the year. The next year we had better than we've ever had before, right? So now we're talking 2021, which has come out of 2020, where we were cutting salaries. We are better than we've ever been before. Never. Then we go into 2022, which is now. 2022 is turning out to possibly be better than 2021 in terms of where we're going. So definitely something is working, right? What do you think? I would think something is working. Can we put a finger? Can we even start to analyze what we've done and what the hell is working? Because I'm staying in England. People are not even coming to office. I come here, I don't meet anybody. Still we are billing. Still we are getting our clients to do our whatever the shit we want to do. Still we are making money. How the shit do I even justify the fact that I am wasting 3-4 hours on the road trying to get here to talk to who? There's nobody to talk to. Nobody gives a shit. They're really doing their job. They're busy billing for the company. So technically nothing needs to change. Something is working, and I will come down to the last part of this small conversation, which is the way that I think we need to function broadly, and I'll end with that. So technically my last bit was we've done extremely well, and I did one lovely sheet just so that I don't meander off and forget about my trajectory, because I've already come to a point where I've forgotten the so I was talking about basically what is working, right? I think technically everything that we have discussed and what we have actually put in place is kind of working. It's not optimal. I think it can be far better. I think that basically, I think this was, and the way that we are functioning now is been people asking us how many people want to work from the office, and there'll be 10 people will say I'll come every day. I would think about another 25 will say I'll come once or twice a week, and there will be about maybe 10 people who will say I don't want to ever come. I don't need to come. Right? Now that's a mix of people, right? And technically, I actually, out of all these people, and I'm talking about me, I actually value maybe about 15 people out of this bunch, and they're here, or they're here. Now how the hell do I keep all these people happy? Right? My deal is that. So technically I have to be able to create a system now that works the way that you particularly want to work. And I'm taking it that the majority wants a little bit of freedom, not all freedom. They want to come to the office. The way that you're going to work as well is dependent on who you're handling, what is your client, and therefore what is the demands of that client. So to me, the real deal is, and it comes down again from a digital principle that I have. The digital principle is that eventually this is individual conversations. It is one brand talking to 1,000, but each one individually. So we're living in a personalized world, and a personalized world should have an office, should have a company that is completely consistent and believing in the fact that you decide how you want to work. We both know what needs to be done. We both know what we need to achieve. Now please tell me what's good for you and how will you achieve the stuff that we need to achieve. I think in the beginning, I know at some point in time there will be trust. And to give you an answer, there's a guy that Uday. I have complete trust. I don't have to look left. I don't have to look right. I know it's done. It's done. That trust is something that he can do whatever the hell he wants, man. Whatever the hell he wants. He gets up in the morning and says, I don't want to come for a week. I'll say, fuck it. Okay, no problem. You want to go for a month? No problem. I will deal with whatever I need to deal with, because I know all the shit will have 90% already been dealt with, because that's after he deals with it, he'll then tell me I'm going for a month. There's only 1, 2, 3 things that you need to do, and I'll do it. Now I'm completely open to that kind of understanding if everybody actually gets to achieve at a zone of trust with pretty much the organization that they work with. Now coming back to the hybrid model that we have now, technically the hybrid model, man, it's a lovely term. It's a lovely term that everybody in the industry across the world, it's not only India, everybody's talking hybrid. What the fuck is hybrid? Has anybody done this before? Has anybody lived it before? Does anybody know whether it works or it doesn't work? All I can tell you from my small microcosm little agency, it's not doing too bad. Something is working. Now my deal is, I want to come down to a last bit of conversation, which eventually, and this is going to be directly at Sneha, where I need to sit with her and I need to have a rule book for remote working, because I particularly believe that the future of any business, almost any business, because there will be the service business where you've got to go and deliver something in XYZ. So some businesses you have to be present and you've got to be on time in XYZ. The rest of the more intellectual, mental businesses like ours and like consulting or like IT or like anything else is going to be based on a remote kind of work. Now, how much you need to come to the office, why you need to come to the office, XYZ, I don't know. The pressures on the need to come to the office comes from people that own real estate. And the people that own real estate are seriously influential people. They've got screwed. I don't want to give them their money back, dude. I don't want to be paying them for office space. I don't want to be paying them for shit if I don't need to. As of right now, technically, in terms of if I had to do a small analysis, I'm saying already I'm saving a crap load of money because nobody's coming to the office. They're not spending their individual money to come to the office. Office is not spending any money to be able to have late nights and XYZ because a whole host of people are actually at home. Nobody's going for these lunches and dinners and XYZ where the office is going to pay, and those are all technically all part of the entire operating manual. Now we need an operating manual for people working from home, because currently, that's you or me? Yeah, so technically I'm just going to very quickly breeze through this part because we will have a longer conversation on it. I think that number one, working from home, and I want to call it a new thing, working from anywhere. Okay, because I technically, and I'm going by what I do, I don't work from home. I'm not always. I work from home. I work from the car. I work from the grocery store. I work from the beach. I work from my school, kids' school. I'm working from everywhere. I'm not off. I think anybody dealing with me in England, technically, and I am doing all of the things that I just mentioned, right? And I don't know whether Bhairavi is here, but the fact of the matter is, since she's been dealing with me when I was there, my response time on WhatsApp, and this goes across clients, goes across agency, goes across even personal. My personal also reverts is under 30 seconds to a minute. Somebody's messaged me, I'm looking at it because I'm on. I know what I'm doing. So I've responded. I came down to Bombay, second or third day. She called me. So I said, yeah, Bhairavi, what's up? She said, no, I wanted to know when you're going to approve that. So I said, what? So she said, no, I sent you that mail or whatever, WhatsApp or mail, I think. So I said, what, really? When did you send it? 7 hours ago. And that was when my jaw dropped. I said, therefore, what we're really asking for is we're asking for a downturn in terms of response timing if you're on the ball. If you're on the ball from a working standpoint, it doesn't mean anything. So to me, number one, you can do all of the things that I just stated that you do, but you've got to be responsive to the organization that you are. There will be certain things which are cast in stone, which I definitely don't think we should be taking lightly. If we have a meeting, and if meeting with an agency, okay, I can take it that somebody is still on the beach and talking on the beach while he's talking to you. I'm cool with that because he's having fun, I'm cool with it. We can talk, it's a casual talk anyway, most of it. This time at least we're not having cigarettes and chai and wasting time on that. So here we're talking, and therefore I'm okay with a little bit of casual stuff. But if there's a client involved, you bloody well be indoors, man. Shut your room down, let it be like this, nobody talking. The bullshit here is that people don't do that. They're going to take their mother to the hospital. Suddenly somebody is going, my daughter's going to school. I'm coming back, oh no, I just forgot. No, this doesn't work. We work from bloody 10 in the morning to 6 in the evening, irrespective of where you're working. Timbuktu, London, Bombay, anywhere, that's your timing. Don't fuck around with the timing, because otherwise come to office, nah. It's damn easy for me to say, hey, bloody hell, get your fucking ass here, yeah. It's easy for me to control. It's damn cool to see you, nah. And then come and over you and see what you're doing as well and poke my nose into every damn thing. Damn easy for me, specifically. So we don't need to do that. We are not children here. But the fact of the matter is we have to have some kind of decorum. There is a code to the way that we're going to deal business-wise. Again, I have to draw to some of the businesses that are going well for me specifically, which again is from an Uday perspective. Let's take it I'm just going to shoot off the block here. Let's take it that Uday was walking his dog, which he does. He's got a dog, lovely dog, and he goes for a walk. and he doesn't hear because his mobile phone is probably in his bag or probably left at home. He comes back after 15-20 minutes and he's calling me back. I'm completely okay with the fact that you couldn't pick up the call because you were doing something. That's no problem at all, yeah. Everybody can understand that. But the point being, call me back, please. Do that service, yeah. Don't come down to a point where you don't return the call, because if that shit starts to happen once, twice, thrice, 4 times, fuck it, you are done. We talked and we started with trust. I don't trust the fuck out of you. Nothing. Zero. So to me, please, let's understand how we're going to put this code of working, how you will be dealing with your client, what is your turnaround time in terms of responses. Everything can be dealt with the manager that you're dealing with, right? So to me, in a broad sense, everything can work the way it's working because it is working. I think we can get far better. We can start to understand what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong, where can we be better, and eventually the one thing that is undoubted, and I don't know, I can't talk for the entire universe of clients that we have, because every single client is a different type of animal. So therefore, but I'm telling you, for the majority of the clients, the response that we had has taken a jump. We have never been more responsive, which to me I think is great, because we are in the service business broadly. We can talk about the fact that we're doing digital, we can talk about the fact that we're doing creative, we can talk about the fact that we're doing POS. All of that, yes, we're doing, but we're servicing somebody. If we forget the service angle to this business, we've forgotten about the fact we might as well leave the business. Business is business and business is service. And technically, if we put that in our minds, we will be able to come up with a code, and we can draw up a code for the office in terms of how you would work if you're working at home. I want to end with 3 things of the work from anywhere kind of concept, okay? This is again my personal belief. Number 1, I don't believe in physical meetings. That's a personal belief. I don't believe. Why I don't believe? Because I've spent 1.5 hours getting there, 1.5 hours getting back, and it's a tremendous waste to my client, to the organization, to everything, because 3 hours has gone getting into a bloody room. Then somebody has come late, which means all 8 or 9 people, all their hours or half an hour has been wasted. So there's a multiplication of the hours wasted. There is a tremendous waste of actually meeting here. There will be people that will tell you that, hey, 1 minute, we get better in terms of output. My question back is, please prove it. Because if you asked a servicing guy, a business guy, prove it, he's got to bring the money. He's saying this was what we were going to charge, we came and met, and now we charge this plus this plus. Wow, we have to meet. For stuff like this, please meet. I'm completely okay with it. Prove to me that this is absolutely necessary to come to office to meet. Okay. Number 2, if you come to office, if you meet, you bloody well be there on time. Okay. Don't waste everybody's time, because it's a multiplication. Half an hour into 9 people is already so many hours gone. When you're having your chais and all, plan that a little bit earlier, smoke and all before that, because that again was a humongous waste. I've wasted hours, I've wasted a colossal amount of my life, and that to my youth, sitting in fucking conference rooms waiting for people to come in and eventually getting nothing as an output. I think we're in a very, very sweet spot right now. We're in a great spot. We have been forced into it, and we have been open enough to even have this discussion. I know a lot of places where they've already got 9 to 5 working in the office, and I don't wish that on anybody actually. But anyway, there are a lot of offices that have opened. How they function and what they do and stuff like that are great for them, because sometimes some people need to be whipped, and I'm not in any way stating that nobody needs to be whipped. All of them are very good and all of them will get to the trust kind of thing if we just leave them. I don't believe it will. I believe it needs vigilance. I believe that somebody has to be sharp focused in terms of what the outputs are, and somebody telling you, pushing you, talking to you, and that is management. It can be done anywhere. So technically, if you're calling for the meeting and everybody has to meet in the office, number 1, be on time. Number 2 is, if you're sitting in that meeting, and this is not me by the way, this is Elon Musk. If you're sitting in the meeting and you are not contributing anything and you're not learning anything, just stand up and walk out. To me, I found that brilliant. I was like, man, dude, to say that to an organization is a bloody deadly thing. But it's absolutely true. What the hell are you doing in that bloody meeting? You're standing there and people are talking nonsense, whatever the shit, because it's not of any value to you. You have nothing to contribute, but yet you wasted your hours. Lots of other people sitting there wasted their hours. You could have gone and out, created something and gone back in, right? So therefore, don't do it. I think the last thing in terms of working, it's not even working from anywhere, it is working anytime. I do not particularly believe that there is a 9 to 5 and that is the time you will be the most productive. That's absolute shit. Doesn't make any bloody sense to me, because my most productive time actually is when I'm, what do you call it, when I'm the freshest. At the end of the day, if I've had a couple of drinks, I am unproductive. Zero, nothing. I'm going to get nothing out of me. You get me in the morning at 5:30, 6 in the morning, and you start talking to me, then I'm at my productive best, and I get better and better and better right till about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So to me, everybody has their time, right? I'm just stated my time. What is your productive time? And when you choose to use that productive time to be able to create the output is entirely up to you. It should not be the organization's perspective. The organization's perspective is twofold: quality of work and timing of work. These are the two things. The rest is up to you, man. So to me, that's pretty much where we are. And like I said, we are going to work on a code in terms of how does this work? If you're working from anywhere or wherever the hell you're working from, or XYZ, we're definitely going to do that. The last bit I want to touch upon is the fact I'm trying to put words to a position that the agency has, and I have multiple different versions of this particular thing, so I can go on and on. There are at least 25 different positions that I possibly have, but I'm just breaking it down to a very, very base level. At a base level, we have different clients. An ICICI Lombard and a Bajaj are they're chalk and cheese. So to me, how the shit can you have a single code for the entire agency when they're handling different types of clients? Every one of our clients is different. I am not getting into trying to figure out the clients that I'm not involved in, because it's just too much of a little bit of a mess. There are different animals there. They all have egos there. There's egos here, there's egos there. There is different, the way that they function and what they want out of what they're actually asking for is different. So therefore, as a concept, as an agency, for me, it is about picking the team that can fit the client like a glove. So really what your job here is, as an agency, is to be able to fit your client's needs like a glove. Now how you manage that, I know what some of you will be thinking is that, oh, fit like a glove means, we have to be subservient to them forever and all of that jazz. No, you don't have to be. You just have to be smart, you have to be confident, you have to know what you're talking about, and they will be eating out of the palm of your hands and eating out of what timing you are setting, because you have set the time, man. None of my clients have ever set a time with me. Yes, there have been panic. Yes, there have been a lot of other things. And I have stood up and I said, 100%, I'll jump in, I'll get it done. Because we're in it together, yeah. Your client and you are one. You got to be able to figure out who your client is, how he needs, what he needs, set your team accordingly. Get the right people on that team so that you can actually fit like a glove. And a glove does one thing, it protects. I wanted to make it slightly more exciting from a creative perspective, because we started off with something called the mutation, which has not gone away. Mutants, we are mutants in a way. Mutants is basically the ability to morph into something new for the new age. So anybody with the mutation thing, if you've seen Wolverine, so Wolverine is a guy that, when he gets angry, these spikes come out of his hand. So to me, if we were a glove like, which is the Wolverine glove, we are actually that. We cover, we protect, and we are like a freaking goddamn sword that will kill for you. And that's the kind of mentality that everybody has to have if we are to succeed. If we don't want to succeed, it's fine, man. To me, it's completely all right. I would particularly eventually want people that I work with to be closer to that belief system rather than not, because otherwise it's a little bit of a waste of time, wasting your time as well as mine. Because everybody can really succeed if we actually see eye to eye. If we don't, it's not that we have to, but if we do, everybody makes more money, more everything else. So technically that's really about it, and thank you very much for